Hi, good afternoon, good morning, whenever it is that you're tuning in here. We're going to do our math lesson 610 today. So if you do go back online, make sure you go back to 610. I think it comes up on 8 right now because we kind of got behind. All right, so this is going to be working with the order of operations. In 6-8 with Mrs. Eddington, you worked on parentheses, and so we're gonna work with that and how that can help us solve some problems. So we're gonna start out with a little bit of mental math practice with the using the parentheses. And so here's our first one. All right, so 5 times 1 minus 5. So you're gonna do your 5 times 1, which is 5, minus 5 is going to equal 0. Right? Here's another one. 8 plus 2 times 2. So again, you're going to do the 2 times 2 first. Okay, so that is 4. And 8 plus 4 equals 12. 6 plus 4, and that is in your parentheses, times 2 equals, so doing what's in my parentheses first, 6 plus 4 is 10, and 10 times 2 is 20. And you might find it helpful with these. You see I'm writing my answer to what's in the parentheses below that. You might find that helpful to do that. All right, let's do 5 times 3 in parentheses plus 15. So my 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 15 is 30. Okay, just a couple more of these. If we have 40 minus 5 times 2 in parentheses. So again, doing our parentheses first, 5 times 2 is 10. And 40 minus 10 is 30. $100 plus 10 times 10 in parentheses. So do my 10 times 10, which is 100. Right? And 100 plus 100 equals 200. All right, from there we're going to move on to our math message, and that is the page that you see up here on my screen. Okay, so we have Tildy and Harrison visit the dollar store. Tildy figures out how much she needs to pay by writing 1 plus 4 times 2 equals 10. Tildy says that she needs $10. She asks Harrison to check her work, and he says she only needs 9. All right, so we're going to put the parentheses in the problem to show how you could actually get both answers from this same problem. And this is why we use the order of operations, because that way mathematicians across the entire world would get the same answer with that problem instead of getting these two different answers. All right, so here's what Tildy did. We have 1 plus 4 times 2 equals 10. So what she did was put her parentheses around the 1 plus 4, which is 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. So that is how Tildy got her answer. And here's where you see what we can do that changes that answer. All right, so here's how Harrison got his answer. All right, so he did 4 times 2 first, which is 8. And 1 plus 8 is 9. So you can see why we have to have some way to regulate that mathematicians everywhere would do the same thing and get the same answers. All right, so let's look at the second part of this. Tildy and Harrison could not agree about the correct amount. Tildy says, I want to buy 1 package of paper for $1 and 4 fashion pens for $2 each. Draw a picture to show what is happening in this problem. So while I get up the next page and get ready to show you that, you go ahead and work on your drawing, and you'll be able to see how it looks compared to mine in a couple of minutes here. All right. All right, so here is my picture that shows. So we have a picture of the paper with $1. And then I put her 4 fashion pens, $2 each, so 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which equals 8. So then I have 8 plus 1 equals 9. So this shows that Harrison actually had the right answer with that. All right, so what we want to do now is just basically talk about the rules for the order of operations. And there are rules. Okay, this way every mathematician clear around the world can answer the same problem the same way. All right, so the first thing is that you do operations inside parentheses first. Inside the parentheses, you're going to follow rules 2 and 3 when you're working inside those parentheses. All right, so do operations inside parentheses first. Rule 2 is multiply or divide in order from left to right. And rule 3 is you're going to add or subtract in order from left to right. So again, if you don't have any parentheses, you're always going to multiply or divide first and then add and subtract after. If these are inside parentheses with both operations, you're going to multiply or divide first and then add or subtract. Okay? All right, so let's look at this problem. We have 3 plus 4 times 2. So using our rules of operation, we're going to do the 4 times 2 first. So 4 times 2 would be 8, and then we add 3. So our answer would be 11. All right, so as you're looking at this, you see both of those operations in the problem. Okay. And we've learned now with our rules of order that we're going to do that multiplication first. So I would have done 4 times 2, which is 8. 3 plus 8 equals 11. All right. So did we solve everything in the problem? Yes. We did both the addition and the multiplication. So let's do a few more of these. All right. So we have 8 minus 2 times 3. What am I going to do first? Multiply or divide. So I'm going to do 2 times 3 is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. 20 plus 10 divided by 2. What am I going to do first? Multiply or divide. So 10 divided into 2 would be 5. So 20 plus 5 is 25. Blank equals 15 minus 8 plus 6. All right, so this one I don't have any multiplication or division, do I? So then I'm going to add or subtract from left to right. So I'm going to do 15 minus 8, and that would be 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. And then if I have 15 minus 6 in parentheses, divided by 9 plus 5. So we're adding even another step there. So in parentheses, I'm going to do the 15 minus 6. That would be 9. 9 divided by 9 is going to be 1. And 1 plus 5 is 6. So, when you start to see problems like this, they look a little bit scary, but they're really not. We're just going to follow that order of operations, and it's not a problem. So let me give you one more. 6 plus 5 times 3. What are we going to do first? Okay, we've got multiplication. So I'm going to do my 5 times 3, and that is 15. And 6 plus 15 is 21. Okay, and a lot of times it's going to help you to go ahead and write that answer to that first part of the problem in there, and then continue your problem after that. There's an easy way to remember this, all right, and so this might help you. It's called Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. Okay, so the P stands for parentheses. E in excuse is for the exponents, and I'll tell you in a minute what those are. They're not something we work with yet, but if I were you, I'd want to know what they were at least. M and my for multiply. Dear, the D is for divide. A in aunt is for add, and Sally, the S is for subtract. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. So real briefly, exponents are, we've talked about squares, and so it's kind of using that. It's a small number that is above and after a number, and it tells you how many times you're going to multiply that number by itself. So like when we've talked about squares, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7. So then that number would look like this. So 2 times 2, thought I had it written down here. 2 times 2 is 2 squared. And 3 squared would be 3 times 3. 4 squared, 4 times 4. All right, so then we could go to cubed. We have a 3 up here. So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, and you could have an exponent of any number, infinitely higher. Okay. Okay, so now I have put the workbook page up here, and basically all we have to do is write. And again, I'm not seeing my writing tools. I'm going to have to ask Mr. Allen how to fix that. We're going to write true or false if the number sentence is true or false. All right, so let's just think about this a little bit. And again, you might want to write the problem down on your paper and see how you solve it. All right, so rules of our order of operation. I'm going to do what's in parentheses first. So what's in parentheses here? 9 plus 3. 9 plus 3 is 12. Okay, so 16 minus 12 is going to leave me what? 4. Okay, so is my answer true here or false? All right, I think, let's see, just to check this out, I think if I did 16 minus 9 would give me 7, and 7 plus 3 is 10. So this one's going to be false. Okay, let's look at number 2. 15 minus 10 divided by 2 equals 10. So if I do what's in parentheses first again, 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5. And 15 minus 5 equals 10. So the second one is true. Number 3, 15 equals 23 minus 16 minus 8. Do what's in parentheses first. 16 minus 8 is 8. What is 23 minus 8? What? 15? Okay, so then that one is going to be true. 24 equals 2 times 6 plus 12. So 6 plus 12 is, doing what's in parentheses first, 6 plus 12 is 18. 2 times 18 18 and 18 is 36. So that one is false. All right, so now on these, they want us to insert the parentheses where they need to be to make the number sentence read correctly. All right, so remember again, parentheses show what we do first. So 20 minus 10 plus 6 equals 16. Where do I want to put the parentheses? So if I do 20 minus 10 equals 10, 10 plus 6 is 16. So I'm going to put my parentheses around 20 minus 10. Okay, I would get the answer 10, add 6 is 16. Parentheses go around the 20 minus 10. Number 6, 16 equals 3 times 4 plus 4. So let's see, if I do 3 times 8 is not 16. So 3 times 4 would be 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. So my parentheses are going to go around the 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 4 more equals 16. Number 7, 6 equals 3 times 5 minus 9. So if I put the parentheses around 3 times 5, that is 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. So my parentheses are going to go around the 3 times 5. And number 8, 24 equals 17 minus 9 times 3. Well, 9 times 3 is 27, and I cannot subtract 27 from 17. So I'm going to have to do 17 minus 9, which is going to be 8. And 8 times 3 is 24. So my parentheses have to go around the 17 minus 9. And I would do that first. All right. I'm not going to have you write your own right now, especially since I can't see it. All right. Let me get the next page up.